Hello friends, today's video we are going to talk about LLM and Model Context Protocol. Model Context Protocol or setting up Model Context Protocol servers actually help us to enable our data that could be technically read by the LLMs. So because LLMs are highly trained kind of a foundation models and they are trained on a specific data set. But in case I want to query and use the generative AI on my data, might be let's say some kind of an API data or some kind of a database or some kind of another PDF or RAG applications, we could set up these model context protocol servers and play with it. Now why I'm making this video is I wanted to showcase how much easier it has become to actually use the database queries and use business intelligence dashboards set up within, let's say, a couple of minutes. They are automatically written by LLM with the help of model context protocol, and you don't even not need to have the knowledge of SQL, or you need to have a knowledge of RDBMS. You could just pass out your queries in natural language processing like NLPs, and then it could be processed and the dashboards are built on the fly. I think so majority of the developers who have developed dashboards for different KPIs would see this as not as a game changer, rather as a paradigm shift, because it would take months to develop those dashboards and you would have to make those tweaks, redeploy it. But over here, even a layman, even a CXO or any kind of a person could just ask, hey, could you give me this data? And then it could provide all the business insights, all the analytics, and even with the visual dashboards. I've set up my own model context protocol server, and I'm actually using it with cloud desktop tool, which comes from Anthropic. So let's not waste more time. Let's jump directly on how exactly these things work and see this thing in action. So friends, if you see, this is a cloud desktop tool which I have downloaded. It's a free tool. Anybody can download it from Anthropic website. And I'm gonna use my MCP server, which I've already running on my this Mac, and actually query the database. Now I have set up two tables, like very simplistic tables, which you might seen have come from Oracle, like an employee table and a department table. I've already set those up. And now if I want to fire out queries based upon natural language rather than a select query, so I could fundamentally do that. So let's say if I pass on a query, please give me, let's say, maximum, minimum, and average salary of all employees, let's say job wise, from Postgres database. Now because there's a very application which I'm using it for demo purpose, so you would have to provide some kind of a context, because let's say you have different tables which are of the similar names, or the columns which are different, similar kind of a nature in different tables. So the more context you provide in your prompt, the better it would be. Now here in the first query, I'm just using, hey, just give me this kind of a data from the PostgreSDB. Now, if you see, before running this in the cloud desktop tool, if I go on to the settings and I go on to the developer, so this is my MCP server which I've added into cloud. So this is actually running, it's been written in Python, so which is already embedded into that, and it could call it. Now once I run this, if you press this, it would start working around and start getting the data for you. Now because I have integrated an external MCP server, and when cloud wants to talk to that, it just wants to make sure that it is safe and it is not some kind of a malicious code which is running. So it is asking for a permission for me whether I want to run it from a security or a privacy purpose. So I say yes, allow once. You could allow always also, but I'm just doing it. Now if you see, these are all here's the salary analysis by job position. So it technically got everything for analyst, clerk, manager, and let's say the president and the salesman. Now, and at the end of the this whole summary, it's also giving me some kind of highlights. The president has the highest salary at 5,000, while clerks have the lowest salary for that. Now, this was just like, I'm not supplying any kind of a column name. I'm not giving any kind of a SQL query. I'm not even defining the structure of the table. That's where the generative AI is capable of getting all that stuff automatically for you. Now, let's say if I just copy this query again and I want to run it, but with little tweaks. So let's say I want to run it for all the employee, not job wise, rather I would say department wise, because every employee works in a department, and department wise in the form of bar chart. So I want some visuals to be also included within that, and rest of the things remain same. Now let's see what exactly it does. So when I run this, it is gonna run. So if you see, I'm gonna allow this, it is gonna running all those queries and everything based upon the departments and all that stuff. It does that at the back end. It is intelligent enough to get those structures in place, the data structures, and then it starts working on creating those bar charts. So if you see, it is automatically getting the meta data for the department table or the employee table, matching those columns, does that. Like, let me check the structure, allow once, and once, now it has all the data. So see the magic. Now it is actually drafting an interactive artifact for me, right? So if you see, it is technically writing a React code. Now this is what I don't really need, because let's say I'm not a let's say a developer or anything, but at the end of that, it doesn't really show you the React code which was generated over here. Rather, it actually shows you the whole information. So you have accounting, you have research, you have sales. So these are all the departments. And if you see, it gives you like accounting, the maximum, minimum, and the average, the research, and then it has certain key sites into that. Now the beauty is, in fact, on the left hand side, when it was trying to generate all that stuff, so it also gives you key findings. Now these are all business insights which probably would have taken like a number of hours, even some days, to generate those. But over here, I'm just writing a query within simple English and it is getting all those things done for me. Now one more thing before ending this. So if you see over here at the top, there is also a refresh button. Now what has happened is, because it has generated this whole stuff from getting the data in the database, and let's say after half an hour or 1 hour I come back, the data might have changed. There are new employees who have come, there are employees who have left, or there might be some new departments which have been created. So that data would have been changed, right? So I don't have to pass on the same query, rather I could just refresh it and get that data, even the refresh data. So technically it is not only helping me in creating an interface, but rather providing me a mechanism to even refresh the data based upon my choices. So I hope, guys, this kind of gives you the capabilities of like a model context protocol with the use of LLM. I could use this LLM and model context protocol in different tools. One of the tools which I've used is Claude. I could do it in a terminal. I could do it with, let's say, VS Code. Any kind of a tool which does support MCP, like a model context protocol, could actually be used to use the LLM against my data. I'll be coming back with more videos, guys, so stay tuned and have a good one. Thank you.